everyone, today I'm going to be listening to Kelly Clarkson's My December album, and let's get into it. The first song is Never Again. Okay, so my thoughts on the song. I really liked it off the first listen. At the beginning, I wasn't so sure about the song, I'll be honest. But I was really like progressing more on the instrumentation. Like, it was really interesting to me with the chord progression, it was in the riff and such. And also, you know, the way that her voice was progressing on the song was something I liked. I could appreciate the lyrics and, you know, the build-up of the song. You know, it eventually won me over. So I like this song. I think it was a great choice for an opener. I like the energy that it has overall. About the song on Judas, it says, Never Again is the lead single of Kelly's third album, My December. It features a strong rock sound, heavy guitars, and angry lyrics, written by Kelly Clarkson herself, whose difficult breakup with her ex inspired the entire album. The song was almost removed from the album because of the harsh lyrical nature, but Kelly decided to keep it because she thought it was a fun and blunt song with a great energy, and it reached number 8 on the Billboard charts. So see, I'm glad that she kept it on the album. I really like a nice, you know, pop rock moment, which is what it was giving, so I really liked it. And now into track 2, 1 minute. Okay, so my thoughts on the song, very fascinating to listen to. I really liked how intricate the production was, and like the electronic sounds like going all the way throughout it, just in terms of the production. It's kind of reminding me of this one game on Nintendo that I used to play. I don't remember what it is, but I remember in that game they also had like Sweet Escape by Gwen Stefani in there as well. And so yeah, I really wish I could remember what it is, because now it's going to bother me. If you guys like have an idea of what I may be talking about, leave it down below in the comments, or maybe it'll come to me. But it's kind of like giving me that, maybe some like Hannah Montana vibes, maybe like some Madonna. Again, I really don't know that much about Madonna, but from what I've heard of her music and such, it was kind of like giving me that. And so I really like the production. That's probably the thing that stood out to me most on the track. And then I really loved her vocals on here, of course. I think that she sounded great. I really like the lyrics. I like how the song built up, which is something that was intriguing to listen to, kept my attention the whole time. Really liked it. Probably going to be one of my favorite songs on this album. About the song on Genius, it says, 1 minute served as the album's second single in Australia on September 18th, 2007. Clarkson originally wrote it for her second studio album, Breakaway, however, it did not make the final track listing. Interesting. It was then reworked for My December, being produced by David Kane. And now into track 3, Hole. Okay, so my thoughts on this: great song overall. I really like the instrumentation with the guitars and the drums and such, and I just really appreciated, you know, the energy that it had and just what it brought to the song overall. I thought that the parts were something that were really interesting to listen to in terms of that. I like the production on the song. I feel like at points, like, it kind of drowns her voice out. Like, I feel like they should have turned down the mix in terms of the instrumentation and stuff and let her voice shine out a little bit more, because I feel like it does, like, you know, power over her. And then I really did like her vocals on here. I thought that they were strong. I thought she sounded great. Also, something that I wanted to say about this song so far and like the vibe I'm picking up from this album, definitely reminding me of Fiona Apple. If you see my channel before, you know I'm a huge Fiona Apple fan. Brilliant songwriter, great singer, and amazing piano player. I feel like she's very underrated. And so yeah, her vocal, like the delivery and like her textures kind of remind me of Fiona Apple in that way, which I think is really cool. I'd highly recommend listening to Fiona's work if you haven't already. I'd recommend starting off with When the Pond, because a lot of people say that that's their favorite and it's like the catchy sound that she has for her. But it's really interesting listening back to how her vocals sounded back then and, you know, listening to how she's progressed now. And I feel like she's only gotten better with time as a vocalist. I like the lyrics. To me, it kind of just seems like, you know, I've tried like all these different things, or I've been through all these different things in my life, and now I feel like there's a void inside of myself. You know, there's like a hole inside, and it's like I don't know how I'm going to fill it up. I don't know if that is ever going to be happening for me, and now I feel lost, and, you know, I feel alone, and I feel hopeless because of all these different things. So that's kind of like how I felt based off of the lyrical sentiments and such, but I really liked it. A great rock song. Okay, so one of my friends, Jay, is a huge Kelly Clarkson stan, and he's actually the one that's been inspiring me to get more into her discography and such. And so he sent me some background information for the songs, you know, maybe stuff she said in interviews and things like that, or just stuff that he knows or his interpretation. So I'll be reading these throughout the video, and so shout out to Jay, you're a real one, for typing all these out and sending them to me. So for the song, he says, I have not found background on the song, but this is how I interpret it. I think it is about her hitting rock bottom and feeling alone, like no one's there to help her, and she just feels down and sick of feeling like she's abandoned. So yeah, basically what I said. Usually we tend to be on the same page about these things. Can't wait to hear the rest of his interpretations and such, and I really appreciate him for, you know, taking the time to send all these things to me. And now into track 4, Sober. Okay, so my thoughts on the song. I'm able to appreciate it for what it is. You know, I really liked her vocals on there. I could appreciate how it progressed in terms of that. I like the instrumentation. I really wish it would have like progressed earlier. I feel like it took way too long to build up. It was like here, and then when it finally did build up, you know, that was satisfying to listen to, but I wish it would have built up sooner, because I feel like the whole song I was kind of just anticipating for it to build up, and it just didn't build up at the right place for me. So I can appreciate it for what it is. You know, I like it. I think as I listen to it more, you know, hopefully it grows on me and such, and I just like get used to it. But I feel like compared to the other songs, it doesn't really stand out to me as much, and that's just my personal opinion, right? I think a lot of people do like this song by her, so I want to see how it grows on me with time and everything. So that's my thoughts in terms of there. And I can appreciate the lyrical sentiments. Just seems to be about, you know, how hard it is to get over a relationship and everything. And it's kind of reminding me of a song by Taylor Swift called Clean, which is probably one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs of all time. It's off the 1989 album. It's like the closer for the standard edition. I think that that's an amazing track. I think that's some of her best work, produced by Imogen Heap. And that song I feel like never gets the appreciation that it deserves, but that's a different combo. About the song on Genius Success, Kelly wrote this song after her friend Calamity McIntyre gave her the line, picked all my weeds but kept the flowers. She said it's about living without your addiction, whatever it is, thus not necessarily drugs, alcohol, etc. That the temptation is there, but you might resist it. Now into track 5, Don't Waste Your Time. Okay, so my thoughts on this song. Honestly, it was not particularly my jam. It was giving kind of bland. It was giving rejects, and let's just put something on the album. I mean, this is one of the times that a title for a song could not have been more accurate. Don't waste your time. They're telling you right now, don't listen to the song, because it's just like, there's just something missing. Like, the vocals are great. I see what they tried to do here, but for me, this song just fell flat on its face, and I just got bored listening to it. I was like, when is this going to be over? Maybe this is something that can grow on me. Do I see that happening for myself? No. I just could not get into it, which is a shame, which really is a shame. But oh well, that's how I felt off it based off my first listen. Those are my honest thoughts. About the song on Genius, it says, this song was written as a response to Kelly's ex and former member of Evanescence, David Hodges, who wrote a song about Kelly called Just Little Girl, which was a response to Kelly's song Behind These Angel Eyes, also by Hodges. So that's really interesting. That's really fascinating to me whenever I hear that songs are like inspired by each other and such. So maybe I should listen to, you know, that other song for reference. Obviously, I'm familiar with the other Kelly song that was mentioned, so that's definitely some food for thought there. And now on to track 6, Judas.
The only one who took you in, defended you against the others. They betrayed your only brother. You took things in your hands and left me out. How could you let me down? Didn't know, never thought you would do that to me. I would never be like you, selfish and lonely, it's your problem. I really poisoned by your actions. You took things in your hands and left me out. Didn't know, never thought you'd forget me. How could you let me down?
Okay, so my thoughts on this one. I did not particularly enjoy this one either. You know, the verses were okay. I could appreciate the lyric, you know, and I could appreciate the production. But the thing that kills me about this song is the vocal. Like, whenever it gets to, like, I believe it's the chorus, maybe the pre-chorus, something around there, like, you know, whenever she's, like, belting or whatever, it sounds like she was recording it and she couldn't hear herself back, and then they just mixed it and put it out without telling her, hey, you should re-record this. Like, it's so piercing to the ears, and it's like the dissonance between that part and the rest of it, I can't get it. I can't get into it at all. Like, it's really bothering me every time it comes on the song. And so yeah, like, for me, the song feels lackluster. Like, I feel like not really much that I'm gaining on it. You know, maybe if that part was fixed, I would like it more. But it just kind of like fell flat on its face again to me. Like, this isn't really my jam. Maybe it can grow on me. Again, do I see this happening for me? No, but that's honestly my thoughts. Okay, so for the song, Jay sent me some information on it. It says, for Judas, Clarkson said on a record label's website that this song about betrayal is a reference to the biblical character Judas Iscariot, who betrayed Jesus. To explain, you think people are normal and good, and then all of a sudden you get blindsided. Now on to track 7, Haunted.
The voices in my head, I'm still stuck in this moment, wanting you here. You held my hand, you held me tight, sparks broken, I'm dying inside.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song. Finally, I get to eat once again. Finally, some good food after those last 2 songs that weren't my jam. Like I was saying, like something that is memorable, something that I'm gonna want to come back to, something that is, you know, really great overall. And so I thought that this had like a really eerie feeling to it, and obviously the song's called Haunted, so I'm sure that they did it on purpose. But I just thought it was really interesting in terms of like the production and the places that it took you. And I like when stuff catches me off guard, but in a good way, and this song did that a few times, which I really, really like. So production here, phenomenal. I really liked everything about that. Our vocals on here were phenomenal to listen to. I love the power behind her voice and all that. I really like the lyrics and everything like that. And it's reminding me of the Taylor Swift song, also Haunted, on her album Speak Now, which I really love, and they both are like rockier songs. And so yeah, I really like this song overall. Probably gonna be one of my favorites on the album. So Jay sent me information on the song. It says, Clarkson wrote this eerie song 4 or 5 years prior to recording it on the My December album. 4 or 5 years? Wow. it really sounds like it was written for this album. Okay. Clarkson explained on her record label's website about this song concerning someone she grew up with that committed suicide. I was expressing my anger at how someone could do that. Wow, that is something that is really interesting to think about, and I think the whole thing of suicide really is a touchy subject, and like it's very layered and there's a lot to go into and such. I want to say to anyone who is having suicidal thoughts or anything, please reach out to someone. You know, if you have a friend, you know, there probably is someone that would really like to talk to you about it and hopefully help you through that tough time. Try to find community in that, because like I said, it is a touchy subject, something that's very serious overall, so I wanted to have that note there. Now onto track 8, Be Still.
Away from it all, brand new start. It's all we need. Be still, let it go. We lost hope. We still touch, and love wasn't so hard. Foolish one with a smile. Every time we fall down, I'll gladly climb your walls. Meet me halfway. Slow it down. Just lay in my arms for a while. Be still. Foolish one with a smile. I'll gladly climb your walls. Every time we fall down, here's my hand and my heart, yours to take. Be still now.
Okay, so my thoughts on this song, man, I have mixed feelings on it. I can appreciate it for what it is in one moment. Some moments I was like, maybe this is kind of boring. So I don't know, maybe this is a song that whenever I listen to the album, I'll like let it play through, but it's not one that I'm like, oh, I really love the song and I go hard for it. I'm kind of more so just like, you know, split on the song, maybe more indifferent, you know, kind of there, just like centered. And so I really liked her vocals. I thought that she sounded wonderful. I could appreciate the instrumentation and lyrics and such. It kind of sounds like something that the Chicks would do. I really like them. They're one of like my favorite country artists, even though I'm not big into country. Maybe some Taylor Swift type beats, something like that. About the song on Genius, it says, Clarkson talked about the song's meaning in an article that appears on Comedians and Speakers. It's about stopping things, slowing down to appreciate life. Everything just goes so fast, especially in this business. There's just no time to be alone for a moment of quiet. That's why I don't live in LA and I've always lived in Texas. It's about getting away from the rat race and carving out a space for yourself. And yeah, that's what I thought based off the lyrics and such, and I can definitely appreciate that. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, have a moment to appreciate what you have in that moment and not just be thinking about, oh, what's the next thing, because you're never really gonna be happy if you think about it that way. Now onto track 9, Maybe.
I'm strong, but I break. I'm hard. Life with me is never easy. All you have to do is hold me. If you trust me, let me, maybe. We're on the same road, and it's okay to hold my hand. I'm feeling lost. You love me, you let me, you need me, then maybe. And you know when you see just how it can be. I know this out. What I know is I wasn't meant to walk this world without you. I'm gonna try, give you every little part of me. Maybe and maybe one day I'll meet again. You'll need me, you'll see me, 'cause maybe you love me there. I don't wanna be proud. I'm not lost. I need to be loved. I just wanna be loved by you. I believe, and maybe I should know better than to touch the fire twice. Maybe.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song, very captivating to listen to with the instrumentation and stuff, and maybe it's dissonant chords or something like that, I'm not 100% sure. But with that draped against her vocals and such, you think it wouldn't work, right? But I listened to it and it's something that really intrigued me to listen to, and I really like the juxtaposition of those two things against each other. So I thought that was cool. I really like that about it. I love her vocals on here. I think she sounds great as always. I really like the lyrics on here, and it kind of just seems like, oh, like I just wanted you to love me in this relationship or whatever, and I'm telling you that. I'm hoping that you'll get that from me or whatever, and you'll want to change and you'll want to do better the next time. So maybe I should try this again, because maybe you will get it, you know, something like that. But is it really worth that? Because obviously you didn't do it right the first time. Something around there. I think that's what she's trying to say with the song. I might be wrong, or maybe I'm not explaining it as clearly as I would like. But yeah, I really liked it, and it was kind of reminding me of just stuff that was really out at that time, like 2006, 2007. And the song sounds of its time, but in a good way. So it's really, really cool overall. Stands out to me. Probably going to be one of my favorite songs on this record. So in terms of Jay's interpretation, he says, maybe he talks about how Kelly doesn't have all her stuff figured out, but she wants the guy she likes to see her in a certain light one day, and that he will see her in a light that's not broken. She doesn't want to work through her issues and simply wants to be loved and not fixed. So, that's a really interesting interpretation of it. You know, I only saw some of the lyrics, so it's completely possible that I just misinterpreted the song, and also there can be multiple interpretations for it and whatever. So really interesting to hear that take, and it makes me see the song differently. Now onto track 10, How I Feel.
Looks like I'm getting this again. This fire is getting hot again. Touch the flame, 'cause I'm a curious cat. I am all alone. I did it again. Getting tired of believing. Only good man left wasn't him. That's how I feel right now. So just let me be. It seems every time I find a good man, got a good little wife. I don't wanna hear about your wonderful life. Your eyes with a little black book. Sorry, all my fault, all my fault. I'm getting tired of believing. Only good man left wasn't him. That's how I feel right now. Get a pill that I've swallowed. Fairy tales from so long ago. Take them for someone that's not smart enough to know. I'm through pretending. You can make me rise again. Good man left wasn't him. How I feel right now. How I feel right now. Let me be.
Okay, so my thoughts on this overall, I liked it. It seemed like it was more in the pop vein, which I can appreciate. I really like rock music. I like pop rock even more. And yeah, I'm pretty sure I heard the song described as rock. I would describe it as such, but you know, I like that she was getting in, you know, her pop bag a little bit. I like the production on it. I appreciate her vocal. I appreciate the lyrics. And she's just saying, you know, this is how I'm feeling at this moment in time. At least that's what I'm getting from it based off first listen, but I liked it. So for Jay's interpretation, he says, How I Feel describes how Kelly faces the harsh reality of love and sees the men for who they truly are. It is a bitter pill for her to swallow. On Genius, it says that many people speculate that this is about Kelly's ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock, who is a horrible person, by the way. We don't like him over here, obviously. But it's definitely something that's interesting. And now onto track 11, Yeah.
Enjoy the fall, lover. I'll take it all on. If you trust me, let it go. Let me know, baby. Show me. Help yourself. Wanna give it all to you, but for sure I got your back. Ever wanted anything more than you? Try not to slow it down. Everything inside you, about you, let me show you. Let me give you everything. I know you love me, but I'm gonna need more. Wanna figure, but I feel empty. You gotta help me. Yeah, I see you. Can you see me? What it take to get you to trust me, love me like I know you can.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song, so much fun to listen to. I like the vocals up, I really like the instrumentation and stuff, and I really like the pocket that she got into as well. I just think that this is a really cool track, you know, I like the lyrics and such. Definitely gonna be one of my favorite songs, and I just really gelled with it. About the song on Genius, it says, This song is about this guy I was dating, who was so cool, but wasn't able to put up with me being in the public eye all the time. I want a real man, not someone who's going to walk around on eggshells and be a yes person. I want someone to let me know if they're happy, mad, or sad. And now onto track 12, Can I Have a Kiss?
Excuse me for this, I just wanna kiss. Wanna know what it feels like to touch something I'm so sure I'm unworthy. I can see you're above me. Don't move, I wanna remember you. I know where you live, I can't blame you myself. I tried to warn you, been a message alone. If I can't hold it, can I give you a kiss? I see that you're torn, I've got some scars on my own. I need to remember you. I know where you live, I can't
Okay, so my thoughts on the song, I liked it, I appreciated the vocals, I could appreciate the instrumentation and lyrics and such, and so, you know, based off the lyrics I read and what I heard, I think it's basically just being like, look, mentally, I'm not in the best place right now, maybe because of things I went through or whatever, I'm not ready for a relationship, and it just be like a friends and benefits, no strings attached type of situation. At least that's what I'm thinking based off first listen, but I enjoyed it. In terms of information of the song, here's what Jay sent me. Clarkson explained on a record label's website that this is actually about two different people in the verse and the chorus. She said, that's the first time I ever did that. The lyrics are about something very true to me. You know how you want someone but can't have them because they're off limits? And of course they sing that. Even if you had them, you know you screwed it up. You always want what you can't have. It's a funny, ironic song. Now onto track 13, Irvine.
Are you there? All I hear on this floor. They say you're here every moment. Stay to the darkness lead. I know you're busy, but you might be the only one who sees me. Can't you just take me? Don't have much to go. Do you cry as I do? Lonely out there by yourself, the only one to save mine. What's it like to feel so free? Your love, complete mystery. Are you there watching me? Cry with me tonight. Are you watching me? You're not worth it, babe. The trouble you bring, the noise you keep. I don't even care. Yeah. You don't turn me on. You don't do anything at all. I can't stand the sight of your face. I know what I saw, but I see it now. Guess I fell too fast. So much for true love. Take the shivers instead. You're too high maintenance, babe. Time you spend trying to fit in. It's so ridiculous watching you turn as I burn, baby. You should keep your eyes on your new girlfriend. So much for true love. Take the shivers instead. Wasn't even good. You should keep your eyes on your new little friend. I love you, shivers.
Okay, so my thoughts on this, loved it overall, so it's two different songs, so we'll go over Irvine first. I think that this is something that was just really captivating to listen to overall. I really like the instrumentation, I like the way that her vocals complemented it. I really quite enjoyed the lyrics for it as well. About Irvine, it says, this song is a prayer from the lowest point of my life. There comes a time when you feel like if he's up there, God, or whatever you want to call him, is the only one that can help me out. After that night, I know there's someone or something out there looking for me. That's really, really interesting, and I'm definitely going to think of the song differently when I listen to it next. For additional information about the song, Jay says, she wrote the song when she was going through a hard time and was overworked during tour. She felt emotionally exhausted and had to cancel one of her meet and greets during tour. She wrote it from a place where she was asking if God was listening to her and there to help her because she didn't feel like anyone is listening and there to help her. And then I already knew that Chivas was gonna be on this because my friend Jay told me that it was like a minute of silence and then just wait for the extra track and such. I wish it would have been separated on the album. I believe some of her fans said like if you search it up then like that individual track comes up that way. I believe that's what I read and such. And so yeah, I really like this Chivas song as well. I think it flowed really nicely, like her vocals over it. Again, another acoustic moment. I like the lyrics as well. This is definitely giving me Amy Winehouse, like something off of her Frank album. And I have done videos on Amy Winehouse. I will have them in the cards right here for you guys to check it out at the end of this video and link down below in the description, of course. But I think that she is brilliant and this was definitely giving me that, you know, sonically, I really, really quite enjoyed this moment. And, you know, these are going to be some of my favorite songs on the album. Now on to track 14, Dirty Little Secret.
I've been thinking you're wasting all that love and now someone else I will give you what you're missing. Don't wait till now. That's just say it now. Know you dirty little secret. You dance her dirty little secret. I don't care what they say. I don't want just a taste.
Okay, so my thoughts on the song, great track, really enjoyed listening to it. I like the guitars, I really appreciated her vocals on here, and just like the way that she went off and textures of her voice. I like the pocket that she got into with her vocals as well. I like the lyrics and just saying, you know, I don't think I want to be your dirty little secret and stuff like that. At least that's what I was like getting from it, but really liked it. Probably gonna be one of my favorites on the album, really stood out to me. In terms of Jane's interpretation, he says, Dirty Little Secret is about how she has a thing for this guy and she found out his dirty little secret, which is he has a thing for her, and she doesn't want to wait too long on him to make some moves. Now to track 15, Never Again, Dave Audé mix. Okay, so my thoughts on this, cute, great gowns, beautiful gowns. I was able to appreciate it for what it was. Do I think I'm going to be listening to this a whole lot? No, I remember really liking the original, and that's my honest thoughts. And now on to track 16, Never Again, Dave Audé Club Remix. Okay, so my thoughts on this one, again, great gowns, beautiful gowns. Do I see myself listening to this one again? No. Those kind of remixes tend not to be my thing personally. I like whenever artists go in and re-sing the remixes and such, completely change everything up. How Mariah Carey does. I'm a huge Mariah fan. To those who maybe have not seen my channel before. So those are my thoughts there. And now to the 17th and final track, Not Today.
Everybody says you're no good for me. Everybody thinks you're out to get me. This little fool, they must think I am. Is anybody out there? And here all alone. Anybody this weird? That's not today. Everybody says I'm no good for you. Everybody thinks I'm out to get you.
Okay, so my thoughts on this, really loved it. You know, I could appreciate the chord progressions, I really like the guitars there, I like the vocals on there, I like the lyrics, I like how punchy it is in terms of delivery and such. Definitely sounds like something that could be in a movie, giving early 2000s, which I love. And now it's time to share my favorite songs in the album with you based off my first listen. So I'm going to say Never Again, 1 Minute. I'm also going to have Haunted on there. I remember really liking Maybe, I think I really gravitated towards that one. I really liked Yeah, Irvine, and Chivas, and then I'm also going to have Dirty Little Secret and Not Today. But yeah, that's probably like half the album, and like my real favorites, like my top 3, will be something that's revealed to me with time listening to this album and such, but those are the ones that really stood out to me based off my first listen. And now I wanted to share my overall thoughts on this album with you guys based off of my first listen. So on the whole, I think that this is a great rock album. You know, I really quite enjoyed myself. I think that there's some pretty strong tracks on here. I think that I like it more than Breakaway, which is a great album for the record. I listened to that again recently, and I feel like its problem is that it's too front-loaded. Like, you have the 4 strong tracks. I feel like they should have spaced those out on the track list, and then the rest of the tracks, most of them don't really live up to the, you know, hype in there, and I like the first album a lot. And so, yeah, I feel like this album, it might be competing with the first album to see which one I like more. I'm gonna have to listen to both of them really intensely to see which one ends up being my favorite. And I have listened to some of her other albums, like I listened to the one after this, of course, listened to the Christmas records, and everything. I probably listened to all of her albums at least one time, you know, besides this one today. And so I feel like it sits pretty comfortably in her discography. I really enjoyed her getting into her rock bag once again. Like I said, I feel like, you know, there were some remnants of a Fiona Apple, of the Chicks, of Taylor Swift that I was getting off of this record, and I absolutely loved it. Her vocals on here are powerful, and they're just something that really have you locked in all the way throughout. A very gifted singer, one of my favorite singers of all time, and so I really loved her vocal performances on here. Songwriting is great. She's a great songwriter, and she never gets enough credit for how excellent of a writer that she is. You know, she has a bunch of hits to her name, rightfully so. I'm pretty sure she wrote every song on this album, and if she didn't, she wrote at least most of them. So definitely shout out to Kelly as a songwriter, shout out to the other songwriters that she worked with and such. I really like the production on here for the most part. Shout out to the producers and, you know, everyone who made this album happen. While I think that this is a strong album, we do have some missteps. You know, there's songs that I didn't really necessarily gravitate toward, like the Judas song and, you know, such, that just weren't personally my favorite. Some songs are just kind of meh on. So I'll see as I listen to it more how I feel about it. Normally these days I tend to like listen to an album and I'm like, okay, I hated these songs off of first listen. I'll give it another listen, and if I still hate them, I tend to just like skip over them for a bit until I'm like, hey, I should listen to this one again. But I generally like most of the songs of this album, and I feel like its strengths far outweigh the weaknesses. Great rock record, something that's great for the time. I feel like it's something that's really amazing to listen to, and I would highly recommend it. I really like Kelly as an artist, and with this one, it's something that is packed with so many treats, and you know, so many songs sound like they could be straight out of a movie, giving early 2000s. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one, and I know that she had a lot of conflict with her label at this time, basically because she wanted to go into a more rock direction sonically and such, and so basically she got to have like artistic freedom in a sense, but the label didn't really promote this. If you're a Mariah fan, it's kind of like what they did with her Rainbow album, which was a shame because that album deserved more as well. And I'm pretty sure this was number 2 behind like the Hannah Montana soundtrack, one of them, which is interesting. So there's more to learn about this album, but again, thank you so much to Jay, I know who's watching this, for, you know, giving me some background information about the album and telling me some things so I could go into it having a decent idea of it, but not having everything spoiled to me. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, again, I would recommend this one if you're interested. If you guys want to see more videos I've done on Kelly Clarkson, I will have a card on the screen right here to where you guys can go to. It'll be at the end of this video and linked down below in the description. But that's going to be it for my thoughts on Kelly Clarkson's My December album. And so I would love to know what you guys are thinking down below in the comments. What are your favorite songs? What are your memories of the album? Any background information that's really important to the experience and everything, let me know down below in the comments. Let's continue the discussion there. But that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like down below. It helps me out a lot in YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you get notification to your phone when I post. You're not missing brand new videos come out. First link down below in the description is going to be my second channel. Check out my latest video on there. Also gonna have my Twitter. I do Twitter spaces on there all the time when I'm speaking about albums. So if you just go to the search bar and then you just search like spaces I've spoken in, you can listen to them on there. I've also posted spaces I've posted on here as well. I'm gonna have my Instagram, my Spotify if you'd like to follow me, as well as my TikTok, which I'm pretty active on, just talking about current events and music and such, and I really enjoy having TikTok. I'll link to stream this album if you're interested, and lastly, links to educate you guys on point situations. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.